you believe he said that to you? Can you believe she said that to you? Wow, you should do something about that. So not only are you putting off the worship of Allah and the remembrance of Allah, you're boiling in bed. Like imagine if someone was standing on top of you, throwing rocks at you, poking you and saying, go do something, say something. And then subhanAllah, it's like, instead of going to sleep at night, like the Prophet ﷺ taught us to clear our hearts and forgive people, and that's your entrance into Jannah, you're filling your heart with anger. And now it's just pick up a phone, send a text, make it worse. Go ahead and compound the situation. All the while, you have less time for the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'll share with you this last narration, inshallah, just because of time. And it is a powerful narration. And I want you to think about it because again, these things always hit right before Ramadan. It's like, now? Why now? Like there's always the fitna and things just start hitting you before Ramadan. It's like, this is the worst time it could happen, right? This narration. Every time I read it, I think about the imagery of it. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن إبليس يضع عرشه على الماء. Iblis sets up his throne upon water. Why does he do that? To try to imitate the Lord of the worlds, whose throne encompasses all things. So he sets up his throne, right? Like I am my own person. That's his ego, his arrogance. And then he starts to call his followers to him. فَأَدْنَاهُمْ مِنْهُ مَنْزِلًا أَعْظَمُهُمْ فِتْنَةً. SubhanAllah. The Prophet ﷺ said the closest people to Iblis, when he sits on his throne on water and the shayateen are next to him, is the one who causes the most fitna. That's who Iblis loves the most. The opposite, the Prophet ﷺ said, the closest of you to me on the Day of Judgment are those that have the best akhlaq, the best character. The closest shayateen to Iblis when he talks to his followers are the ones that cause the most fitna. So he then starts to say, he says, tell me what you all did. يَجِيءُ أَحَدُهُمْ فَيَقُولُ فَعَلْتُ كَذَا وَكَذَا. So one of them says, I did this and I did that. And Iblis says, مَا صَنَعْتَ شَيْئًا. That's nothing. Next, what did you do? So the shayateen start to tell Iblis the corruption that they caused on the earth. And then he says, ثُمَّ يَجِيءُ أَحَدُهُمْ فَيَقُولُ مَا تَرَكْتُهُ حَتَّى فَرَّقْتُ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَ امْرَأَتِهِ قال فيدنيه منه ويقول نعم أنت. This last shaitan says, I kept on him until I caused him to split from his family. I caused the breakup. And then Iblis says, come here. He says, what a good follower you are, what a good shaitan you are. And he embraces him. I like you the best. Messed up the marriage, messed up the relationship. And that's not to say, dear brothers and sisters, that there aren't real reasons sometimes for splits. And that's not to escape responsibility when we do the things and then we say, it's Shaytan. He was telling his follower, didn't you hear the hadith? No, I mean, take responsibility. But that's to say, how happy he becomes when he pollutes that. When he messes up families, tears us apart from each other. Don't fall for it. That's the connection between the personal, the interpersonal, the family, the community. To busy us with each other in negativity so that we can't long for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and pursue Him with positivity and productivity. May Allah fill our hearts with the love of Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not give the shaitan any opening into our hearts or our lives with his whispers or his knots or his stones or whatever it is, in Ramadan or outside of Ramadan. May Allah allow us to remember Him so frequently that the shaitan finds no place within us. May Allah protect us as individuals from him, protect our homes from him, protect our communities from him, and allow us to be engaged with what is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma ameen. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.